For those of you who are clients with us at Family Financial Partners, you may or may not recall one of our first few meetings where we asked all sorts of seemingly random questions. We don't do this to pry. We're trying to get a good feel for the various financial puzzle pieces that you have in your life. And these might be things you haven't even thought about, at least in terms of how they affect your finances. One area we often ask about that frequently garners some odd looks is the question of your health. It's one thing to ask a client their date of birth, but it's another thing to ask, well, how is your health on a scale of 1 to 10? And are you on any maintenance drugs? And do you take any major medications? And have you had any major surgery or ongoing health issues? And oh, by the way, what's your family's medical history? And have you been diagnosed, while we're on the topic, with any cancer, heart disease, or diabetes? Well, at this point, you may understand where we're going with this line of question, but then we start asking if your parents are alive, and if not, how old they were when they passed, and what happened. We ask about your grandparents and their health, and any siblings who have any medical issues. And this is probably to the point that you say, okay, wait, why are you asking me all these things? Well, here's the reality. We're simply trying to figure out how long you're going to live. What we know is that examining your family tree will help us arrive at the average number. That's simply the age at which you tell us you want to bounce that final check. We ask these questions prior to asking you what you want to do with your assets and investments and what your life and financial goals are, and we ask this before we even know how much money you have. The reason is simple. Your current and projected future health is paramount to your ongoing financial plan. Without good health, your medical costs, especially in today's medical cost wasteland, could skyrocket out of control, making any investment plan useless. And that's why we typically follow this line of questioning with questions about your insurance coverage. Questions include things like health, disability, life, long-term care, property and casualty, and other professional or catastrophic coverages. The reason we ask about these insurances is that these typically are the things that help you and your family maintain your lifestyle standard should any life-changing medical event happen. And while many of you think your investment guy shouldn't be asking insurance questions, as financial planners, we not only need to know how long you'll live and potential medical expenses associated with it, but we also need to know how you're protected. If you're not protected, and if you're not covered for a particular reason, then we have to do calculations on your assets to make up for your lack of insurance and determine whether these assets that you have are enough to take care of you. Now, maybe a bell just sounded in your head and you thought, aha, now I get it. But before we say you're good to go, we're also going to ask about things like debts and mortgages and car loans and any other consumer debts that you might have, as we need to make sure that you can continue to pay those as well. From there, we add in things like your life goals. Now let's get to the fun stuff. How long you want to work, your definition of retirement, it keeps changing. How many kids you have that you might need to educate, and whether you have parents to care for, and what vacation experiences you're saving for, etc., etc. Our goal here is to help you do everything you want to do, but at the same time, if we see a hole in what you've hired us for, we're also committed to being 100% transparent about that and telling you so that you're not blindsided. And we do just that as we update you on a regularly scheduled basis about where you're at. We'll keep you in the loop. In the meantime, for those of you who are clients, this is just a friendly reminder of what we do every day and why we do it. If you're not currently working with us, ask yourself, is the person you're working with doing all of these things for you? If not, maybe it's time to consider working with a team of pros here at the Family Financial Partners office who can help you organize your entire financial life. Depending on how long you're going to live, you might have another solid 30 to 70 years in front of you that could benefit from working with our team. Think it over. We'd love to hear from you soon.